Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and vitamin D, baby, coming from up there and right in front of your screen.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
My friend, welcome to the Gazillionaires Club. We are in the swimming pool at the Peace River campsite, and it's actually quite peaceful. Usually there are quite a few people in the swimming pool, but because there are often thunderstorm and they will just come and go, but usually it's not a good idea when there is a thunderstorm and be in a swimming pool. Imagine get struck by lightning in the water. Con, is life happening to you or life happening for you? Dumb bitch. Oh man, but yeah, my friend, uh, man, I can't believe I'm doing this on my vacation. But remember that 25K investment that I was talking about. You know, at first I wasn't even gonna go after that person, and then it just time after, like, it's been. So I started investing in the real estate in 2019, April of 2019, and then over the year, the first year, like, I had to. So here, long story short, okay, long story short, I'm going to hire an attorney to straighten out this case, because time and time again, it's kind of like, people say that they want to make things right, but then their actions are different. And it just, I don't like being lied to. I know that in business, right, we take a loss. Not all the time you're gonna make money, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. If everything, like, if things can be proven that it is legitimate, then I'm okay with it. But the fact that, it's like, from my perspective, every time when he told me something, it never came true, and it's been like this ever since we started, the contract. And remember I said, after I found out the loss, I had to make the call, and then he offered Zimbabwe bonds, and based on good faith, right? Good. It's the same thing with the first contract. Like, verbally, he would tell, like, he was telling me 6 months is gonna be the quickest, but often it's 9 to 12 months. So I took it literal. I took it for what it is. I didn't know what a contract was at the time, but on the contract, it never mentioned the date. And then after that, after I found out, I was like, oh, okay, so that's how it is, huh? And then the second contract is based on good faith, and based on good faith, trust me, so after that year, which in 2020, April of 2020, May, somewhere around there, he said that his attorney advised him to go after me for, like, the rest, all estimate, the loss on that property. For my part, which was 10,000, but he said that he's not gonna do that because he wants to make things right. And then he offered me this Zimbabwe bond, that, and it's gonna pay out 50,000, but I only get my 50,000 after after the bonds are sold. And I asked him, when is it gonna be? So it's the same thing. There's no date, based on good faith, and practically I asked him, so how does it work? He said that he invested in Zimbabwe's bonds, and when they sell it, I can get my portion. And I asked him, how does it work? He's like, it's complicated. There are many moving parts, and he can't even explain. And I asked him, do you have any proof of that investment, of the bonds? And at first he was like, yes, I do. I have the wire transfers. And the year been going on for 3 years, okay? And in 2020, the April or May of 2020, I asked him. He said it's going to be within 6 months. After 6 months, I waited, and then I call him up, like he said that he would like let me know, but never, only once I think he actually called me back because I pressured him, like, yo, you gotta let me know, I can't keep calling you, because when you said something, you give me a date, you gotta take responsibility. And then after, for the past 3 months, from this moment, and he kept on, oh, it'll be another 2 weeks, and then he'll never get back to me. But based on good faith of the contract, if the bond doesn't sell, chances are I'm not gonna, that contract supersedes all past agreement, whether it's verbal or emails, right? And what I asked him, so most of the time when we get on the phone, because I've been, he told me so many times that he told me so many things that never came true. So every time when I got on the phone with him, I recorded the conversation. I let him know, hey, I have no intention of going after you, but the things that you have told me so far, nothing came true, and you keep on pushing back, and you always blame it on other people. So I have to be really precise what you are saying. So that's why I want to record all of our conversation for me to document my journey and also to document what you're saying. And then I asked him to get on a recorded conversation and explain in the contract what is based on good faith means. How does the bond deals work? When will it be sold? And what if it doesn't? And what about the date? He can't give me any of that. He keep on pushing it back. And believe it or not, every time when he told me, give it next week, give it 2 weeks, and I would text him, it would take like a day or two. Sometimes he doesn't get back at me, and and it got to the point where it's really frustrating and it's draining me. And I remember this because I had no intentions of going after him for that 25K. But the fact that, where I'm standing, I feel like that contract was a way out for him. The venture agreement that we agreed on with me put my money down so he can look for the contractor, fix up the property, and sell it. And then, he said he trusted his friend or the contractor. He couldn't find a contractor. And then after that, that property ended up, that property was refinanced with some other properties that he bought in the same area. And I had to take a loss. So, things get really complicated. And at this point, we both agreed that we will try to work it outside of court. And I said, yo, just give me a date when it's going to be sold. Because, he kept, this whole year it's been so frustrating because every time when he said something, it never came true. So I was like, yo, write a contract, tell me the date and how does it work? When will the decision be made to sell all of the bonds? And he can't answer that. And at first he was like, I have the wire transfer to prove it. And then after, when the time came, he was like, oh, I don't want to share it to you because they're private information. And I asked him to get on the phone so we can do another recorded conversation. And he's like, I'm not going to do that either. And then it gets to the point where he was like, I'll get on the, I was like, yo, we need to, I need to ask you a few questions about your contract because this contract, it seems like a get out of jail free. And, he said he'll get on the phone, but he doesn't want to be recorded. And I told him, like, if we are sincere about the things that we say to one another, shouldn't this conversation be recorded so that either you and I can take each other to court if we are up to what we are saying? And ever since then, he just kind of like, he'll just tell me the same thing over and over again. And I got frustrated. So and there were many more things, but I've documented everything. So at this point, the only way is to move forward. So that is my decision. So my friend, I'll keep you posted about my first real estate investment, and then, and we'll go from there. So much love. I will enjoy my time in the pool and get my workout, try not to get frustrated or even thinking about it because this whole thing been draining me for so long now, and it got to the point where I don't want to take it. I just don't buy the bullshit, and it's so easy. He could have solved everything, just by, yo, just give me a recorded conversation. I got a few questions I want to ask. You know, if you are sincere about the things that you've said, you shouldn't worry about it. You know, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. And the thing is, I've recorded 4 conversations with his notice. You know, he's aware of it. And when I went, you know, I went back and I listened to them, and none of the things that he said like matches, right? And I'm just done with it. So my friend, much love. I will see you in the next video. Ta-da!